We were just hearing there from Ballarat Grammar, their first performance for the day. We will hear from them several more times today in different grades. They were playing there their selection of marches in 4B. They played Athlon Bredalbin, Walter Douglas, Captain Norman, and the Sweet Maid of Glendaruel. Apologies for the earlier lack of commentary. We just had some issues, technical issues to deal with. Now we're back, hopefully, and live for the rest of the day. So that was a good performance there from Ballarat Grammar. Nice, confident start. Nice use of harmonies too. I haven't yet introduced myself. I probably should. My name's Stephen Matthews. I'll be conducting the live stream through the day. When I'm not doing this sort of thing, I'm usually standing by the circle with a clipboard, judging either ensemble or drumming, and I'll do my best to give some insightful comments on the performances after they've happened and a little bit of information about the bands as they appear. And I'll fill more detail in as we go. The next band to compete is the City of Melbourne Highland Pipe Band number 2. They're just approaching the circle now. As you may have heard during the street march, or maybe not, depending on how the audio was working, this band is turning 126 years old this year. It's a very big outfit. On a practice night, it's common to see upwards of 60 people at practice with instruments in hand. They will be playing in grade 4B, their selection of marches. Duncan McGuinness, Jenny's Borbee, the Whores of Cromdale, and Captain Norman Orr Ewing. So let's listen into Melbourne Highland number 2. City of Melbourne Highland Pipe Band number 2. It was a really crisp cutout. They started that performance with confidence as well. A strong pipe corps there. Possibly the drum corps struggling a little bit to balance that number of pipers, but they hung together well as a unit. So just to explain the format of the day, there are 2 circles. The live stream will be moving between the circles. Circle A, where we're currently positioned, is where the selections of marches will take place, and also the march dress bays and reels for some grades. And Circle B is where the medleys take place. So we'll be moving between the 2 circles to give the live stream a bit of variety. And it will be the case that the other circle that is not being live streamed will be recorded. And as soon as possible, both sets of recordings will be available for everyone's viewing pleasure into the future. So Circle A, you might have seen the judges. There are 2 piping judges, 1 ensemble judge and 1 drumming judge at work in this circle. The piping adjudicators in Circle A for this morning are Brett Tidswell from South Australia, Brian Swatala from New Zealand, who was recently judging at the New Zealand Championships himself. With drumming, we have, it would be Andrew Walmsley. And, no, correction, Andrew is doing ensemble in Circle A for the moment, and Yvonne Coosley from Queensland, who is doing drumming.
Circle A, we have the Hailey Pipe drum number 2. Coming into Circle B very strongly, we have Ballarat Grammar School's pipe band.
So as mentioned, 2 circles in operation. Bands play in Circle A first, either selection of marches or march dress bay and reel. Then they withdraw towards the back of Princes Park, where there's a fine tuning area. They have a few minutes to tune up, then they move to the other circle and play their medley. Approaching the line now in Circle A. Again in grade 4B for the moment, we have Haileybury Pipes and Drums number 2. Pipe major is Tom Perry. Drum sergeant is Maximus Rikers. They wear the Haileybury tartan, their own tartan, and have done for several years now. They will be playing Greenwood's Side, Mackay's Polka, Coracoili's 43rd Welcome to the Northern Meeting, Pipe Major Willie Ross's Farewell to the 2nd Battalion Scots Guards. So we'll have a listen to Haileybury Pipes and Drums number 2, grade 4B. Celebrity Pipes and Drums number 2 there. Just a few thoughts about their performance. I felt coming into the circle there was a bit of separation between the drums and the pipes. They didn't quite hang together, but that came together nicely once they were settled in the circle. Good use of tenor drums there, the different pitches, and harmonies too. The pipers playing well. Maybe some unsteady blowing here and there, but a very nice cutout in the end. I hope they're happy with that run. Lots of support from the crowd. And they will now depart the circle for fine tuning to appear later in Circle B for their medley.
Coming into Circle B, we have the Ballarat Grammar School Pipe Band.
The weather conditions are probably not too bad for the pipes, in fact. A little bit blowy, windy, so maybe some cold fingers for the drummers and pipers, but no direct sun, which is likely to affect the pitch just at the moment. So nice stable conditions for everybody. I do anticipate there will be more sun later in the day. We're expecting a top of about 18 degrees Celsius. There's certainly a good crowd in attendance. Lots of local support from the community in the region, as well as the supporters who have travelled with the bands. The next scheduled band is Albury-Wodonga Pipes and Drums. The Twin Cities straddling the Murray River between New South Wales and Victoria. And I can see them warming up, so they won't be too far away. So Albury-Wodonga are now walking up onto the oval to approach the circle. They're possibly running a couple of minutes late. That's something that might take the attention of the contest supervisor on the circle. We shall see. The adjudicators are waiting, looking, waiting expectantly. The day is run to a fairly tight schedule. Each band's performance is in fact 8 minutes apart for the day, and there is a slight offset between circles, but the circles are far enough apart that the performance of one band does not affect the others. So Albury-Wodonga are now approaching the line. The pipe major is Angus Beath, drum major is Barry Prater, Aaron Allenby Smith is the lead drummer. They wear the ancient Caledonia tartan, I believe. They're going to be playing the suite made of Glendaruel, Barren Rocks of Aden, Muir of Ord and Mari's Wedding. The band was formed in 1985. Has over 25 members and a great mix of experience and new talent as well. So let's hear Albury-Wodonga's selection of marches. was the selection of marches performance from Albury Wodonga Pipes and Drums in Grade 4B. Certainly the most brisk tempos that we've heard so far today. I think the tempos didn't quite suit all the players. Some lack of cohesion I felt between the corps, the pipes and the drums at different points in the performance. Nice use of harmonies from the pipes. The cutout was not quite precise. They possibly won't be all that pleased with that, but I think overall a very creditable performance for the grade. And maybe I spoke too soon. The sun is just starting to make an appearance. That can certainly impact on the tuning of the pipes and indeed the tenor and bass drums that can change pitch slightly. So that just adds to the degree of difficulty for the band leaders to cope with that, especially if the sun's in and out. Not ideal. The next band to perform will be the Maryborough and District Highland Pipe Bands, so the band of the host town. I can see them over the far side of the oval doing their final tuning and preparation. Again, they're probably due at the circle very soon. They need to take account of that. After this performance, the live stream will be shifting, in fact, to Circle B to pick up the medleys, which are, it has to be said, probably more interesting and engaging listening because the medleys allow free choice of tunes and styles of tunes, dance tunes, march tunes, slow airs. So a little bit more variety involved in the medleys, and after this performance that's what we'll be moving to. So I can see Maryborough now preparing to approach the line. The marches they will be playing are the Sweet Maid of Glendaruel, Baron Rocks of Aden, Muir of Ord, Murray's Wedding, which in fact is the same set of marches that was played by Albury Wodonga. And that's something that you will notice perhaps. Some of the same tunes are played quite often. They are at a standard which suits the grade. They're quite popular, so they get more than one run during any competition grade. So here's Maryborough standing at ease. The contest supervisors just checking everyone's ready. The adjudicators are ready. And now they will proceed with their performance. Let's have a listen.
are, ladies and gentlemen, the Maryborough District Highland Pipe Band. Congratulations to you guys, well done.
Maryborough District Highland Pipe Band there. Confident entry into the circle. Some separation between the cores on the way in. It did settle. Again, nice brisk tempos there. Good use of harmonies. Cut out, not quite spot on, but not too bad either. So we're now going to move the commentary for the live stream to Circle B for the medleys. That was Haileybury Pipes and Drums number 2. We heard their selection of marches earlier. Just then they played the Bloody Field of Flanders, the Fuddler, Salute to Cap Cavall, Molly Connell and Young Guns. Certainly a nice lively performance there towards the end. Probably the start was a little bit unsettled, some of the tempo changes not quite precise between pipes and drums. A very creative set of orchestrations there though, harmonies and just interesting use of dynamics there and pitches in the tenor section. So that's the first medley for the live stream, and we'll be probably in this circle the majority of the time from here. So we will hear some of the bands that we've already heard returning for their medleys. The next one being Albury Wodonga Pipes and Drums. We just heard their marches a few minutes ago. So again, to reiterate that the circle that is not being live streamed is being recorded, and both sets of recordings will be available for everybody to enjoy in due course. So the sun has disappeared again. Those setting up pipes will probably be a little bit happier with that, as long as it stays away and doesn't keep appearing and disappearing.
There we are, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Presbyterian Ladies College Pipes and Drums on Circle A.
Albury Wodonga are now approaching the circle. In their medley, they will be playing Andrew S. Warnock, Ian F. McLaren, FRCS, Iona Boat Song, Keel Row as a Strathspey, The Kilt Is My Delight, which is a reel, and then Keel Row once more, but in reel form. In due course, I'll introduce the judges on this circle. One of them is trying to distract me right now. Scott Nicholson piping. Sam Young piping. No, correction, Ainsley Hart piping. Hazel Osborne from Canada ensemble. And Mick O'Neill from Scotland doing the drumming. And I'll have more to say about the judges a little bit later. Let's listen to Albury Wodonga's medley. Wodonga Pipes and Drums, their medley. Not the best start. There was, I think, a drone issue there that took a few moments to settle. There were obviously some tempo breaks in there, changes in tempo. Some of them were not quite clean. I think the pipers occasionally tended to rush, so they weren't always together. A bit of rushing. It settled then. The snares were working nicely together. Some very interesting transitions between tunes, especially into the air.
Turn that off for a second.
And that was nicely handled. Again, the Strasbass, some passages that were a bit rushed. And a very interesting effect there with the reprise and some longer notes and breaking back into the reel that they finished on Keel Road. So I hope they're happy with that performance. They have now completed their performances. In fact, they've played the selection marches in Circle A, they've played their Circle B medley, and they can now relax and enjoy the day.
I can't go to A.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, coming into Circle B, we have our very own Maryborough and District Highland Pipe Band folks at Circle B at the Rotunda Inn.
We now have approaching the circle Maryborough and District Highland Pipe Band again. They're just having a last start before they reach the line. They will be playing for their medley Hills of Argyle, Merrily Dance the Quaker's Wife, Old Hag of the Churn, The Bomb, Molly Connell and Sleepy Maggie. So a Strasbass band there. So one last run through, coming to the circle where they'll be okay to proceed by the contest supervisor. Just now checking that all prison drill judging is also happening in this circle. We have Stevie Stanley from Queensland doing the honours. Let's listen to Maryborough and District Highland and their medley. just heard the Grade 4B Maryborough and District Highland Pipe Band medley there. That was a nice, confident performance. I think they'd be very happy with that one. Right from the rolls, the snares were together, crisp, confident. Nice transitions between all the tunes. The drum corps and the pipe corps were locked in well together. So everyone working in unison there, as it should be, and a very nice cutout at the end. So I think they'll be very happy with that run. The next band to perform in Circle B is now approaching. We heard them in the street march, but we haven't seen them in the contest circle to this point. Presbyterian Ladies College, pipes and drums from Melbourne. There are actually more than one. There's more than one Presbyterian Ladies College pipe band in Australia. This happens to be the one from Melbourne. They are playing their medley. McPhail of Barnesson, Jack's Jig, The Water is Wide, Molly Connell, and Electric Chopsticks. They might be a touch early at the circle. I think the adjudicators were just finishing up from the last performance, so they might have to wait for a second. This is a much improved band over the last couple of years of competing. And they did very well at the recent Victorian Championships. This is great to see. So it looks like we're ready to go. Let's have a listen to their medley. Oz Presbyterian Ladies College. I think a performance to make you smile in a way. This, as I said, is a much improved band. The tempos they played were really quite cautious and steady. I really loved what they were doing in the air. The drums adding really spectacular level of dynamics and great effect to the tune. The Strasbourg, there was a little bit of separation between pipes and drums. The last tune, you can see they were enjoying that performance. And it's interesting to note that it's a very musical school. Most of the girls in this band, this pipes and drums is probably one of 3 or 4 instruments that they play. And something a little less usual, you don't normally see, but almost every member of that band was tapping their feet. So they were keeping themselves right on the money there. The next band now approaching. We heard them in the street march. Now we're hearing them for their medley as What's Only RSL. They're going to play Wee Highland Laddie, Miley Connell, which we just heard in the earlier set, Sleepy Dancer, Pipes of Peace, and Rob's Shower Shebang.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, coming into Circle B, we have the What's Only RSL, Pipes and Drum. Ladies and gentlemen, finishing Circle A with the St. Andrews Caledonia Pipe Band. Congratulations, guys, well done.
There we heard Watsonia RSL and their medley. I think they should be happy with that run. It was a good run. One piper had trouble getting started, but it didn't affect the overall sound. Happily. Certainly love the expression in the Strathspey. Nice dynamics from the snare section there. The bass playing nice, metrical accent. Thought the air was very nicely handled as well. Just nice drumming effect accompanying the piping. The break into the jig was okay. It took a little bit of time to settle, but they got there in the end, and a reasonably good cutout there as well. So well done to Watsonia. Pipe Major Ian Gray and Drum Sergeant Jack Still there. So well done to them. So we're still in grade 4B. It's quite a large grade and a very competitive one. So see how the results pan out in the end. Melbourne, number 2. You can see that in the distance, it's not too far away. Pipes and Drums number 2 will shortly move towards the circle. They'll be playing, as you can see on your screen there, Song of the Chanter, Haggard the Churn, Your Bleak Jig, Ian Rule's Lament, Kota Rua and Kelsey's We Reel. Here they come. You will occasionally notice in some of the school bands that some of the players don't necessarily look the same age as everyone else, and we have an example of that here, the front left of the band. In fact, you can see tutors sometimes playing who tutor the band but play with other bands competitively as well, which is the situation here, where the tutor also happens to play for Hawthorn and will be seen later in the day. So they've been given the okay by the contest supervisor, and let's now have a listen to Scotch College Pipes and Drums number 2. was Scotch College Pipes and Drums number 2. They were producing a nice strong sound there all the way through. I definitely thought the transition from the march to the first jig was well handled. Nice harmonies throughout. Tempos were nice and steady. It's interesting that their last tune they clearly like. The snares were playing, probably could have done with a bit more dynamic effect through the majority of the performance there, except the air, until they got to the last tune, and they really got into it, and that was good to see. And a good cutout at the end there. So they'll be happy with that performance. One of the bigger bands in the grade for sure. It certainly produces a different sound quality when you have numbers to play with. And again, as they march away from the circle, you might pick up that one of the tutors is playing in the back rank as well. Scotch College have travelled overseas in recent years, had some success. If I recall correctly, yes, at the World Championships they had an equal third place in juvenile, which is not too bad at all. Okay, so the next band coming from Tasmania, St Andrews Caledonian, Pipe Major Sally Ann Richter, Drum Major Nick Haysom and Michelle Haysom leading drummer, playing their medley, and they're playing Sergeant Peter Toohey, Molly Connell, which we've heard several times already, Lexi McCaskill, Farewell to Cameraw, Hag at the Churn, another tune we just heard, Rory Gallagher, and Farewell to Cameraw Reprise. So I think just waiting for the adjudicators to come out, which they are now doing, so we'll hear from St Andrews Caledonia from Tasmania, based in Launceston. Well done, St Andrews Caledonian Pipe Band from Tasmania. Certainly some strong pipers in there. Some lively tempos they were playing there as well. I think that might have caused a couple of problems for the snares at times, not quite together with the pipers. I think especially the last couple of tunes, changes into the jigs. That sometimes happens. But they got there in the end, and a decent cut out there. So well done to St Andrews. We heard them earlier in the street march. Celebrating 90 years. Well, 91 years this year, actually. So band's been around for a good while. It's good to see that history living on. So as mentioned, the adjudicators in this circle, piping, we've got Ainsley Hart, who's the president of Pipe Bands Australia. He's from New South Wales. We have Scott Nicholson, who is from Victoria. He's the national principal of piping and also the state principal for Victoria. His day job is at Scott School, Albury, where he runs the pipe band program there. We have on ensemble Hazel Osborne, who is originally from Canada and is living in Canada now, but has spent many years until recently living in Australia, in Queensland, based in Queensland. And as mentioned earlier, one of the guest international judges, Mick O'Neill from Scotland, who plays for Police Scotland Fife, is the lead drummer, and is a teacher at George Watson's College in Scotland, with one of the many schools in Scotland that has a large pipe band program. And with a bit of luck later in the day, we'll be able to have a word and an interview or two, hopefully with Mick, with Hazel, just to get some insights from them and find out how they're enjoying their experience here judging in Australia. The next band will be the 5th 6th Battalion Royal Victoria Regiment Pipes and Drums. They are about to form up and come to the line, I think. They are led by Pipe Major Sergeant Benjamin Casey, Drum Sergeant James Henderson. They are one of the oldest bands here today, formed in 1898. And as I mentioned, they were originally due to play in a competition here in 1900 at Maryborough, one of the first pipe band competitions planned ever in the world. Unfortunately, being the only band to enter, the competition didn't go ahead. Mind you, there weren't that many bands around at the time. So, 5-6 RVR, as they're called for short. They're playing the Scottish Division, the Smiths Are Gallant Firemen, Sleepy Maggie, the Dark Isle, Jig of Slurs. So a march, a strathspey, a reel, an air and a jig. And they look very smart, probably the best drilled band here. Let's hear how they go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, coming into Circle B, we have the 5th 6th RVR Pipes and Drums.
6th Battalion Royal Victorian Regiment playing their medley. I know I read out the tune list, but there were some surprises in there. The breakout of the Slow Air actually had another jig that I think was uncredited for about half a part before they got into the jig of slurs. And then they had a reprise back to the Dark Isle at the end there before going back to the rest of the jig to finish. Nice little effect. The 6/8 they played at the start was quite steady, a bit cautious, tentative. And some of the other tunes they played, the reel after the Strasbourg, a really good step up in tempo, and then the jig towards the end. Probably caused a couple of issues with cohesion between the pipes and the drums there at times with the faster tunes. But overall a nice run there, and 5/6 RVR have not competed at an Australian Championships for many, many years. So it's great to see them back competing again. It's an Army Reserve band, and it's made up of a really interesting mix of officers and other ranks. Some of them are musicians from the band corps, and some are from other corps altogether. So it's just a very interesting mix brought together to play music. Obviously they have a lot of ceremonial duties in the course of their normal work, as well as doing the soldiering that they do as part of their employment in the Army Reserve. Now approaching the line, we have Golden City Pipe Band from Bendigo under Pipe Major David Leach and leading drummer Darcy Tuckerman. They're going to be playing their medley, which we're listening to at the moment in this circle. Pipe Major Sandy Spence, Out of the Air, I Own a Boat Song, Oh the Bows to Ballindalloch, and Sleepy Maggie. So they've just come to the line. Let's listen to their performance. Okay, Golden City Pipe Band there with their medley. Pretty good introduction, some lively tempos there, playing into the circle with confidence. A very nice break into the jig, though I thought at the end of the jig the whole band seemed to increase a little bit in tempo. Starting to get a little bit on the edge there, but the air certainly brought them back under control, regained composure, confident into the Strass Bay, although again some pipers I think were just rushing phrases here and there. And the reel to the end was controlled and a very good cutout. Certainly a good deal of local support here, it seems, because they got a lovely cheer there at the end. So I'm sure Golden City will be really happy with that run. Good job. The next band to appear in Circle B, still in grade 4B, as the sun comes out again. And as I mentioned earlier, there might be a few issues with chanter pitches, tenor and bass drum pitches. Just as the sun hits them, can sometimes be a bit tricky to manage, but par for the course in our conditions. So we've got Horsham City coming to the line now. From Western Victoria, but with a good component coming from over the border in South Australia as well. Under Pipe Major Michael Stewart and Drum Sergeant Anthony Munro. Their medley is Dawning of the Day, The Smiths Are Gallant Firemen, The Silver Spear, Infantry Song, Paddy's Journey North, and Rocking the Baby. And as we're hearing, some of those tune lists belie the fact that there's a lot more going on in there than just would seem to be the case from a list of tunes. Bands getting a bit creative with reprises and bridges and counter harmonies and all sorts of things. So they certainly enjoy playing those medleys, and the crowd is enjoying it too and building up. So let's have a listen to Horsham City. That was Horsham City. On the entry to the circle, it probably took the Pipers a little moment or two, a few steps in to get themselves together. Not quite together to start with off the line, but they definitely settled. The Stress Bay break was nice and confident. Snares are sounding really nice. Not a large number, but playing well together. Nice tone from the drums. I thought the air was very nice. The bass and tenors, or tenor, the tenors rather, just adding very sensitively, and a nice weight for the size of the band. And then flowing through to the end tune, and a really confident and clear cutout. So well done to Horsham City, and they've now completed their selection of marches and their medleys. So that's their competitive elements for the day completed, and now they can take it easy. The sun, I think, is definitely going to be here to stay by the looks of it. So bands will be making adjustments accordingly, I imagine. We're still in the same grade that we've been in since the start of the day. We have one more performance in the grade, that being from Warrnambool. And I can see them in the distance. They're still tuning, so we're maybe a couple of minutes away there.
Number one. Making their way to Circle B, we have the Warrnambool Pipe Band.
So here comes Warrnambool. They're playing a medley of Corricoily, Jenny's Bawbee, Home at Last, Inverness Rant, and the Fairy Dance. So the last band to appear in 4B, and a welcome return to competition for them after suffering a little bit through COVID, like many bands did. It's taken them a little while to recover, but it's great to see them back. well done to Warrnambool. Great to see them back, and certainly in numbers. I felt overall a solid performance there. They're clearly playing tunes involving rebuilding. There's a great mix of experience in the band, along with those who are clearly building their confidence and experience in pipe bands. So I think, yes, some of the pipers may be rushing ahead a little bit in phrases, a bit eager to get to the next part. But they held it together overall. So well done to Warrnambool. Nice, tasteful air. The Strathspey was probably a little bit unsettled. Took a while to gather its momentum, but it did get there. So, and a reasonable cutout there. So I think they can be very happy with that, having been away from the competition scene for, let's see, probably the better part of half a decade. So there will be a slight break. That is the end of grade 4B. We have the situation where the judges now get themselves together, fill in their cover sheets with their final placings for each of the band, and we do work on a placings system. So the bands are effectively ranked by two piping judges, by the ensemble judge and by the drumming judge, and those rankings are all added up, and it's the band with the lowest score that takes the prize. If it happens that there are two bands that are on equal points in the wash-up, there are a couple of different ways of splitting it. If it's a March Strathspey and Reel event, it will be split. It will be decided on whoever was the better in that. And if they were still matched in that, it would be the ensemble points which separates them, and that has to be different because judges don't rank bands equally. So that's how the separation eventually happens. So a bit of a break. I might be able to grab someone for an interview. We'll just see what happens. Some are coming into the circle, some of the judges. Those who are finishing are just getting their paperwork in order.
types of drums. Doing some fine tuning, and I'll be coming into Circle B very shortly. 12:16 is our time at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, and our opening ceremony will be here in the middle of the oval here, 12:45 until 1 o'clock. There'll be a lunch break as well.
They said it to you to sign it off. Yeah. Go half.
Draw out the entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, we do have our heavy games. And happening over the back there, the Cottonwood Trees, the grass area. Of course, later on this afternoon, we have our mass band assembly at 4:40. The drill and the drum at 4:55. And mass band performance will be 5:05. So there'll be some great entertainment later on this afternoon as well. Enjoy your day, folks, and look forward to Circle A, Circle B very shortly. opposed to Circle A has finished. Now I have the small contest performing over here in Circle B, and then it will be lunchtime. Coming back as well as the adult as well. Of course, we'll be coming through. We have our sweaty dancing and past the food vendors there. Of course, we have the Highland Games for the men and ladies as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, making their way to Circle B, we have the Scotch College Sydney pipes and drums.
Ready? All right. Big. Mark.
Scots College, Sydney. I have to say that was some performance. Really cohesive, confident, big sound. Really impressed with the way both, well, the pipe corps was certainly very closely locked in together, and the snares were accompanying really well. The pipers adding in more than one tune, nifty little note slides, which just added a little bit of interest there. Just great medley construction as well. Well expressed throughout, so quite impressive there. Really something to listen to. So this band, or the school rather, and this is something that's quite mind-boggling, has over 500 students in their school pipes and drums program. They've been to, they were at last year's Edinburgh Tattoo and competed at the World Championships last year as well. So we're talking about something where there's a lot of resources and a lot of effort and a very clearly productive program in teaching and learning in pipes and drums going on, as is the case with many of the schools we have here competing today. And it has to be said that school bands are forming by far the backbone. We're certainly aware in the state of Victoria, over half the membership of Pipe Bands Victoria, which has ticked over 800. It's the largest registration of band members in probably 20 years or so. Over half of them are under the age of 18. So that's something quite special. And the performances we've seen so far, 2 of the 3 performances in Medley Circle B, have been really interesting. So Scotch College number 1 to come. They are not far away.
Ladies and gentlemen, players will be opening ceremony from Maryborough Pipe Band. Make your way to the front of the grandstand.
And here we are back, Scotch College Pipes and Drums number 1. That's Scotch College Melbourne. Coming into Circle B. So they've already played their March Strathspey and Reel. This is in fact the final performance before the lunch break. We've heard 2 good ones already in Novice A, 2 good runs. Scotch are playing Desert Storm, The Soup Dragon, Dr. Flora Macaulay, Irene Graney, Porter Burl, Dr. Alistair McKenzie and Golden Brown. Another sizable band from another school with a sizable program and multiple bands. So let's see how they do. Okay. That one didn't disappoint. Scotch College Pipes and Drums #1. What an interesting competition Novice A is with those three bands. Confident entry, lovely clarity in the pipes, the sound. Snares locked in, great use of dynamics, tasteful in the air, some counter harmonies from the pipes there I think as well. The Strass Bay I thought was really well expressed. And then another interesting transition into the reel. And just a very deliberate, the last part of the reel from the drum corps playing the first time through at almost, well, barely perceptible volume, and then really jumping in boots and all for the last run through to the finish. And then a clean cutout to boot. So it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. I'm pretty happy I'm not judging today. Notably, Tutor's playing in that band. Well, renowned composer, really, Mark Saul, and Stephen Shedden, who runs the drum program at Scotch College, who, of course, I think was placed 12th in the World Open Solo Drumming Championship last year. So I hope I got that placing right. I don't want to do him a disservice, but yeah, quite an interesting set of performances there. So it'll be interesting at the end of the day to see how that pans out. Okay, that brings us to the end of the live stream for the morning session. It will return later for the afternoon session after the lunch break and opening ceremony. So signing off for now, and see you soon.
Thank you very much, Maryborough Highland Pipe Band. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've been blessed today, that is for sure, with the weather, so we're very happy. I begin today by acknowledging the Jaguar people, traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. 1961, I think, was the first time we had our pipe band championships here, so we are very happy to be back here in 2024, having such a wonderful day so far. I would like to introduce you to Sydney Victory Ballard. She's going to sing the Australian anthem for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Sydney. Wonderful job indeed. Of course, Sydney's been practicing all weekend here, folks, so she's done extremely well, so thank you very much. If I could please bring forward Martha Haylett, please, State of Ribbon, for our welcome speech.
Thank you so much, and can we give a round of applause to Sydney? She's a Maryborough girl as well, just again. Thank you. Now, good afternoon, everyone. For those I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I am Martha Haylett. I'm your local Member of Parliament that has the honour of representing Maryborough and over 100 communities across this beautiful region in the Victorian Parliament. I'd like to begin as well by acknowledging that we're on Shara country and pay my deepest respects to Dja Wurrung elders, both past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge Councillor Elizabeth Long, the fantastic Mayor for Goldfield Shire, Grace Lavella, who I think is somewhere in the crowd, Karen Wallace, the Chair of Pipe Bands Victoria, Bruce Hay, President of the Maryborough Highland Society, and all the fantastic guests here today. I'm delighted to welcome you all here to Princess Park today to enjoy a very special celebration of Scottish culture and music at the Australian Pipe Band Championships. I want to congratulate everyone, every host here today. Thank you to the Maryborough Highland Society and Pipe Bands Victoria. It feels like some time ago that Karen Wallace and I spoke about this fantastic day. We caught up early last year and were talking about how excited we both were about this coming here to Maryborough. And there's already talks of how frequently we can do this, because it obviously has been some time since we had this championship here in 1961. So it's been a very long time between drinks, so we don't want it to be as long next time. We have 29 bands here today who've travelled from very far and wide to compete. We've got 20 from Victoria, 8 from interstate, and we've also got an international band from Singapore who've been doing lots of practice. So, yes, round of applause to everyone. The street parade was very spectacular. It was a great start to the day, obviously a bit colder than it is now. And I can see that obviously everyone is enjoying the band performances in the park so far. Our community looks forward to the Highland Gathering every year on the 1st of January, but it's now fantastic to see the national significant event that today is in the Central Goldfield Shire. It's a boost for our tourism, our hotels, our cafes, our restaurants, but it's a boost for the community as well. My family and this community has a rich history of Scottish heritage, and it's fantastic to see it on display today. I've got one of my Scottish lovely scarves as well here, which is obviously a bit too hot on the 1st of January to wear anything like that. Now, thank you again to the Maryborough Highland Society who've been entertaining us and supporting this community since 1857. Good luck to everyone today. The pipe bands, the pipers, the drummers, the drum majors. There's so much talent here today, and I just had a look at the engine room inside and all of the paperwork about all the judges and all the competitions, and it looks really exciting with some beautiful trophies that you will all see later today. So have an amazing day, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to now declare the 2024 Australian Pipe Band Championship officially open.
Thank you very much, Martha. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our opening ceremony, so please come visit our hospitality tent. There's plenty of beer, wine and spirits in here for you to have a drink of, and of course the food vendors are out there for lunch as well. So we're having a lunch break now. We'll be back apparently around 1:30. We're looking forward to that. Thank you.